Human podcast. Here we do live coaching is our goal in order to support people in being able to find their openings using their internal guidance system. I have an issue going on with my headset, so give me just 1 second here. It just told me it is disconnected, connecting it. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to just go drive right into coaching. If you're interested in learning more about your internal guidance system, the fastest way to do that is to play the Recreating You game. You go to the recreatingyouGame.com. That is the recreatingyouGame.com. And what you'll find there is a 5-day event that starts every Monday. At least at this point in time, it does for the next several weeks. You'll have a small practice in the beginning of the day. And then a little bit later, you'll have an opportunity to come on and coach with me in a Zoom session where we begin teaching you how to use your internal guidance system. If you feel a lump in your throat, a tightness in your chest, or a sick feeling in the solar plex area of your stomach, that is guidance. That is not just anxiety, worry, fear, overwhelm, frustration, irritation, procrastination, guilt, doubt. I could go on and on, defensiveness, resistance, all of that is actually guidance. It's not coming from your personality. It's not coming from your mind, and it's not coming from the world around you messing with you and screwing up your life and making you unhappy. No, that feeling inside of you is guidance that what you're thinking is not true or not going to happen, that you're actually in old programming that doesn't serve you anymore. And as soon as you learn to feel that feeling, pivot into an opening using hints, which I call healthy, inspired new thinking, you can physically feel that release instantaneously and know you're back on track with what's going to work for you in your life. Come and give me 5 days and I will blow your mind, literally blow your mind. So come check it out, the recreatingyouGame.com. Super affordable, tons of support. And by the end of the 5 days, you're going to have a new way of managing your life that will lead you to being stress-free, anxiety-free, and happy. We're going to bring Lisa on the show here. I see her backstage. Her camera's not on, so I just want to make sure. Lisa, why don't you go ahead and turn on your camera so I can see you? That would be great. Make sure that you're ready to come on board here. I am not seeing you. So I'm going to wait until you are on camera and ready to go. Let's see here. And in the meantime, I'll do a little bit more. You are able, if you're interested, to chat with me if you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, or if you're joining us from Facebook. If you make your comments known in the chat, so you can ask me questions and I can share with you. I can share your comments on screen by putting them there. This is a new platform for me. So let's see here. Let's see. I'm not seeing Lisa. It says she's backstage. Lisa, are you able to hear me? Lisa, are you able to hear me or? All right. Well, that's too bad. How sad. It says there's no camera for Lisa. I'm going to remove you and have you add yourself back in, Lisa, and we'll see if that works. All right. In the meantime, if you would like to coach with me on these sessions, the way that you do that is you get on our emailing list, right? So if you play the game, you're automatically on and you'll be invited to these live streaming sessions. If not, you can go to fearfreehuman.com. I'm on a mission to teach people how to use their internal guidance system, because what ends up happening is you end mental fear in your life. And as a species, we don't need mental fear anymore. We don't need the concerns about being abandoned or attacked, or being at the workplace and feeling as if we're, afraid that we're not going to get the promotion, or we're going to get sacked, or our projects aren't going to be chosen, or we're going to be getting into trouble, or we're not doing good enough. All of the stuff that's in your head noise. Okay, it says that Lisa's there. All the stuff that's your head noise that causes you suffering and insecurity and uncertainty and doubt about you, who you are, all of that is programming you picked up between the ages of 0 and 7. And there is something incredibly miraculous when you get rid of all of that head noise. Who you become and what you're able to accomplish in life is unbelievable. And so if you're interested in being able to come, and I'll work with you here live and show you when you're in anxiety, stress, or having a serious problem in your life, or there's a direction you don't know to go in, all you have to do is get on our list and you'll get the 2 notifications per week on how to get on the show. Also, the link is in the description of the program. And so you should be able to get the link there. Not always. As we fill up and we get more and more people on this broadcast, I will not be putting it into the link into the show notes. But for now, I am. And Lisa's back, and we're going to bring her on. Hello. There you are. Hello.
Hey.
There you are.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Do I need headphones?
I think you should turn off. You're watching me. Turn off the YouTube or whatever, wherever you are. That there's whatever you're listening to right now, shut it down.
I'm
That
not
way
listening to
you can-
anything.
Okay, well, I'm hearing it, my voice come through the speaker, so I'm not quite sure where this is a new piece of software, so we'll see how this goes.
Is that better?
Yes. Thank you. I think what's happening is people try to listen to me on YouTube, which there's a delay, and then there's live in the studio. So when I bring you live into the studio, you're at the same rate as I am, and there's a little bit of a delay as it goes out, so I can catch things like if I can hang up on somebody before they say something really awful. Normally that's the way it works. In the meantime, you can look into your camera over here because you're looking off to the side, and now you're looking at your camera. All right. Anyways, let's coach. You're a little grainy, but we'll just deal with it. Go ahead, Lisa.
I just wanted to say, when I was in here before, I was clicking on the speaker and the camera, and they weren't doing anything.
Okay.
So
thank you. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So, excuse me. So I did the open closed, and the questions that I asked, the first one was, I can't be a composer or a writer because I'm not good enough. I'm not a good enough singer. And I got closed on that. And then I said,
did you sit down and do the exercise of not asking questions of your IGS, but instead just looking at what you really want to have in your life? Because that was the homework.
Yeah.
The homework was really writing everything out and then writing down all the objections that were on the side, so you could see what was causing you to stop doing that. Can you share with me what it is that you really want to be doing, Lisa? Not checking in with your IGS. What would you like to have in your life?
I would like my life to look like playing music locally.
Okay.
I would like to be doing healing work and writing, and I would like to be in a community.
Okay, what's the community look like? What kind of community? Does
It's
you
a
live on a
community
property?
It's like people get together for like community meals sometimes. They help each other. They have a community garden, might have a community concert stage. Just things like that.
See how you're open? Do you feel the opening? Do you feel the opening?
Yeah, I've been wanting that I even have a poster I made.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got horses on it and pastures, and I just want to be in a rural area. I like being out in a rural area. I like being out in nature. I would love to be in a place where I have a forest to walk in, and I could do healing work with animals and people and play music.
Have you searched for anything like this?
Yeah, I've been searching for years, actually.
Okay, and where do you live?
I'm in Tennessee.
Where in Tennessee?
Nashville. Nashville.
Thank you. That's helpful.
Nashville, which is not a great place for if you're into the kind of music that I'm into. So,
which is what?
Blues, jazz, rock.
Okay, so I want you to say that again. This is not a great place if you're into the kind of music I'm into.
This is not a great place if I'm into the kind of music I'm into. Okay.
Open, closed, or neutral. Yes, that's not true.
I got closed. Okay.
So here's the thing I want to share with you. I can't solve your life's problems like on this call. I can share with you what's in the way of you getting into flow.
Okay.
To find it. Okay. So what happens is we're given our desires, and the ones that open us, I think, are pure, and they're part of our life's blueprint. There's desires that we're given. I talk about when I was younger, I wanted this car. It was an MR2, Toyota MR2. Do you remember that car?
Yeah, I do.
So tiny.
Little
It
sports
was
car.
a little sports car. And I
Yeah.
thought, I was like 20, I think. And I thought if I had that sports car, my life would just be perfect. I would be, I never thought I was pretty as a kid. I was really goofy and awkward, and I wasn't an attractive kid. And I was one of those kids that was always picked on and bullied and all of that. And
Yeah, me
so,
too.
yeah, yeah. And it was awful. And I just thought if I had the cool car, I would be a cool kid. Just weird. I know that sounds silly, but when you're 20, that's what the
Right,
world
sure.
tells, that's what the world tells you. So I go out and I get this little red, actually, I think it was black. No, it was red MR2. And I'm driving it for about 4 days. And I wanted this car bad. But after I got it, it was awful. Literally, the seats, you can't put the seats back at all. I kind of like to drive a little bit of a recline, more of a relaxed state. The seats, because there's a wall behind it. And the trunk, you could only fit 2 brown paper bag grocery bags in the trunk. It was so small. Now, I was scuba diving and skiing and running all around the place, everywhere, going camping with my friends. And I would sleep in my old car that I traded in. I would sleep in the back of that car at my friends' houses, outside, and then would get up in the morning, go to the beach, or do, it was comfortable. I had my own. It was like a little apartment on wheels. And I was so disappointed and so bummed because now I have this huge car payment and a car that is not who I am. It's not who I am. So I prayed about it. And luckily enough, the dealer contacted me about a day and a half, 2 days later, and said, "We can't get you financed on this car. We've tried everything." And I was like, "Whew, can I bring it back?" So I brought it back, and we traded in for what I could afford, which is a little Ford Escort, which was perfect because the seats folded down. I could totally sleep in the back. The front seat
Great
folded
cars.
down. They are great cars. They were super good on gas. The front seat kind of had this way of folding down so I could put my skis in and everything I needed. And I had that car for 4 years. It was easy for me payments were easy. So my point is this: we have opening desires that are part of our life's blueprint. That car, the black Escort, was a part of my life's blueprint. All I really needed was a car that would handle everything that I like to do and had a great stereo. That's the one thing I invested in, because music, when you're driving, is one of the best things in life on a road trip, right? So you have a bunch of desires inside of you that you think that will make you happy that won't. You have a bunch of desires in you that were put in by other people. And then you have your truest heart's desire that opens you. And as you were just talking about being in a community, right? And you were talking about being in a rural area and being out in the country and being around animals. Did you feel your body and your lightness?
Yeah.
That is a frequency that is in alignment with your truest life's blueprint.
True. I know that. I know that.
Right. And so even when things get hard, if you're still on your blueprint, you're open that you're supposed to be going through this hard thing, and it still feels in a frequency that it's accurate for you.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So the reason why I had you look at what you really truly want, and then on a separate piece of paper, write out everything that comes up in your mind. I'm not a good enough singer. There's the kind of music that I like to do is not good for where I live. That was closing and not true. Just that'll have you stop looking around for your people. Okay. Just having the belief that the music that you want to be a part of doesn't exist where you live.
Yeah.
And you're like, I have all this evidence then, but I have all this evidence that the music's not there. That's not necessarily true. You have to find it, or it'll find you. Now, I'm just going to give you a couple of ideas, and we're going to have you keep working on this, but it needs to be fun. I don't want this to be homework and a chore. Okay. Do it when you're on a walk. You can sit down and do it too, but I want you to notice all the objections to your dream life that show up for you. That's the point of this, because it's those, every time you have a closing, you're actually off your blueprint. You've now gone off your blueprint into the weeds. You've made a limitation where you can't go anywhere forward. So just the one that we had about not being able to find the music, right?
Yeah.
That will have you not see it as showing up. There may be people out there doing the same thing. They're playing music that's country music or, whatever in your area, but they'd really like to be playing blues and jazz too.
Oh, I did that for years.
Yeah.
I was on the road for 4 years playing music that I hated. So, yeah.
Yeah. So there's others out there doing that. It would be refreshing. Now, I'm just going to give you a couple of ideas. So I was a part of a community for a little while, not as long as I wish I could have been, but it's a community that's been going on. Oh my gosh. I was a part of it in like 2002. And I think it had been going on 20 years since then. So since the 80s. And every Thursday night they got together, and it's called Soup and Bread. That's what the name of it is. And it was in a loft that an artist owned, and she didn't live there. And it was filled with instruments and art supplies. And they would make 3 pots of soup, and they would bake bread. And all of these musicians would come in, and they would sit around from about 5 o'clock in the afternoon till 10 o'clock at night, playing, just jamming.
Wow, that
And the
sounds
music,
like a dream.
it was awesome. And the music would stop, and everybody would kind of eat, and then somebody would go over and pick up an instrument and start playing something, right?
Yeah.
And somebody would be like, ooh, I've got something for that. And then they'd bring them over the djembe, and then another person would grab the mic and start singing like I sing, and I'd play djembe and the tambourine and all of that. And the next thing you know, we just jammed, and it would just flow. It was very jazz-like, but also it just went everywhere. And people, we went through deaths together. We went through children being born. There was kids that were in the room that were hanging out. Everybody would bring their own BYO, whatever you want to drink, because they had soup and bread, and you brought your own stuff. So if you'd bring a bottle of wine or a beer or lemonade or whatever it was. My point is, we had the one person started it, but she didn't manage it. She just had a list. And the only promise is that somebody would make the soup and bread.
Mm-hmm.
That became a community of like 300 people over time. People would come into town and out of town, and they had a Facebook group so that people could say, who's making the soup and what are you doing? And my point is and then what ended up happening is they got a retreat center with 3 yurts on it. And they used to do weekend retreats as a community out in these yurts. They had composting toilets. It was in the middle of the forest. And they would do these weekend retreats, and they began renting it out. I mean, this is all over the course of like 20 years, just slowly but surely, these people sitting around going, you know what, why don't we rent this place out and go jam for the weekend? And then that turned into, you know what, we could build a place. And it was donation. Everybody would kick in $5 or $6, and that would go into the soup and bread account. So that would pay for the soup and bread. Eventually that grew. That's how they started actually having the money to build things. And my point is, there's flow. Flow is what you're going to be learning in Stress to Happiness as you move forward. And it literally is sitting and you're dropping into your listening like you've learned. And you don't take action until you feel the pull come and move you forward. It happens in conversations. It happens in dance. It happens with music. If you've ever jammed, you know that you will shift the tempo and the thing that you're creating with your instrument. And so will everybody else. It happens. That's why jazz is so cool, is because you kind of all breathe together. And it's amazing as you feel pulled to create a different beat and tempo and thing. And you go to do it, and all of a sudden everybody's following along with everybody else, and you don't even know who started it, but it all works beautifully. There's no cacophony of ugliness in the sound.
Right.
Your life is like that.
It's not like that right now.
Because of all the closing thoughts.
Right.
That's what's taking you out of flow. It's what takes all of us out of flow. And the closing thoughts are the rules that were given to us that weren't right for us, the restrictions that we put on ourselves, how old we think we are, how good we think we are, how much money we think we have, how much support we think we have, how the limitations of time. Right? There's all of these limitations, and you don't have to fix any of those things in order to drop into flow, because flow is a frequency and an energy that's always present in every second. If flow stopped, nature would die.
Yeah.
It's in nature. Okay. So have you gotten to the divine purchase order approved in the program?
No, I've done the first 3 modules.
Okay. So you'll be getting there soon if you keep going.
Okay.
But you have to keep going.
Oh,
okay, good. Divine purchase order approved is when you're sitting and you're looking at what you truly want. And that's where all of our blueprint is based on our desires that open us. So that's why we have to stay focused on the desires, not the restrictions and not the limitations and not the fear and not the elements that aren't true for us. Once you have a really good picture of what you want and it opens you, you can let that go. And then you drop into your listening every day, no matter if you're feeling dissatisfied, uncomfortable, I don't know what to do, where am I going next? You drop into your listening and you'll be pulled to the next action. The next action may look like doing your wash. The next action may look like taking a walk, or the next action may feel like calling somebody you haven't called in a long time. And you used to work with them and you used to do music and you just feel like calling them. It's like out of nowhere, this vision comes in of having a conversation with them and you go call them up and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't talked to you so long. By the way, I have this loft, or we're getting together as musicians, or I'm doing this workshop over the weekend in the fall at this place. You don't know, but synchronicity, the miracles and the synchronicity of flow will take you to that place of that divine purchase order approved moment being achieved, or something better.
Yeah, all the jam sessions around here though are all the ones I've been to around here, except for one place called, which is a blues club, have been a country musicians.
So you just did it again. You just did it again. Are you open? I want you to hold the thought. I can't find that.
Okay.
Hold the thought right now. Say, I can't find that. Those musicians aren't out there in my area.
It feels open.
Does it? So what are you thinking? What's the thought? Are you actually thinking of what you've seen, or are you just holding that? Because we always collect evidence that what we're saying is true. Maybe you're the one who starts the jam session. Flow will take you there, is my point. You're trying to figure it out with your mind.
Okay.
You went right back into trying to figure it out with your mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, that's not how you get there. You cannot get there from your mind. You cannot strategize. If you look in your past right now, I want you to think about your past. How did you get to where you are today? Could you go back and reconstruct it step by step? I met this person and that person introduced me to this person. And then I was over here and I met that person. And then that led me to this work, and that work. It's like, it's so integrated and so flowing and natural. I was sitting here, I was like, God, how did I meet that person? How did I end up in Greece? Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was a bartender in Greece. How did I do? I was talking to somebody. There was no internet. There was no email. I was doing this the other day. So I met Jamie. How did I meet Jamie? Oh my gosh. I met Jamie 2 years earlier at a coffee shop. We started dating and then he kind of ghosted me. So I stopped dating him. And then I moved to Santa Cruz, and all of a sudden he was in Santa Cruz. We started talking. He told me he was going to Europe. And I was like, okay. So then I was like, can I go to Europe? He goes, yeah, meet me there. Just get a ticket together with your friends and come. So I ended up selling everything I own and got a ticket together, and I came. And then I don't even know how I could find him. We didn't have internet. This is back in the beginning of the 90s. Somehow I found him in Lindos, Greece. I ended up taking over his apartment and his bartending job so he could take off, and they went to Turkey. So it's like,
wow, that's flow.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I ended up at music school in Los Angeles from Atlanta. So.
Well, that's not changed. Yeah, go ahead. And then
there was something that happened after the 90s, because I had a really bad experience with this band for 4 years. In the early 2000s, when I got off the road, it was just so dead. I was like, I felt so stuck, like nothing moved for years. I was very stuck. Nothing changed in my life for a long time.
Well, I can understand a little bit of that, because every time I give you an opening to move into something that you love, you tell me why it won't work.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And so if it won't work, there's nothing I can do or anything else in the world to break you free of that mindset. Yeah, but there's nothing in this area. There's no music in this area like that. So there's no jam sessions in this area happening like that at all. None. Zen. I'm like, okay, well, then.
No, there are a few, but not very many.
You don't need very many. You just need one.
That's true. Okay.
You just need one.
The right one.
Yeah. Or you need to create the right one, right? One of the beautiful things about us as women is we create from our desires. And so you put it out there you find the right Facebook group, you read through the comments, You see that there's people there that you really like how they respond to things, or they're musicians, or they're this. And I have a dream. I have a thing I really want to do. One of the things that frustrates me is that there's a limiting amount of music here that has been, because people are focused on the country music industry. And I'm a musician who loves this, this, and this. And I want to get a community of people together to play with and to hang out with. And is anybody else interested in that? And does anybody have a place to play? And the next thing, it starts off with, 2 or 3 people. And the next thing you know, the Soup and Bread has had thousands of people come through. It was really shocking and amazing because the Fillmore was in San Francisco, and there's all this. So we would be jamming, and all of a sudden somebody famous would come walking through the door because
Was
they're
this in San Francisco? Did this
Mhm.
happen?
Yes.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah.
But I've seen it in other places too. It's not just there. There's camp, and there's so many different things I could talk about that were like this that I've seen hundreds
Okay.
of. So it's not, you can't do that. Oh, that makes sense. It's San Francisco, not where I'm at. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I actually meant as opposed to
No, but I want you to listen, because if you want to know why you're stuck,
is I keep putting up walls.
yes, you do. Why is that? That's the question.
Scared.
And that fear is closing.
Yeah.
That fear is what's keeping you off of your divine blueprint.
Yeah. I have
That
a lot
fear
of
is what's keeping. I know, but it's not true. Now you know what to do with the fear.
Okay.
It's out of alignment with who you are. It's out of alignment with your blueprint. It's always not true, Lisa. I promise you. I've been doing this since 1993. I've worked with over 40,000 people. Not one person has come back and said, Zen, that fear was true. Not one. Fear is opening if it's true.
It's opening if it's true.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like fear. It feels like discernment.
Ah. Okay.
And you're able to take action through it. Fear, which is closing, keeps you stuck. That's why I had you look at what you really want in your life, and then write down everything that comes up immediately afterwards as to why you can't have it. That's because those things are not true for you. And the way that you get out of this is you have to reprogram the things that are not true by acknowledging them, feeling the closing, acknowledging them as, okay, what is true? And that's when you went, well, how do I want that to be instead? And you play with it. What would make it better than that? The tools that you're learning in the game, the Recreating You game that you learned, those are great practices. Now you're in Stress to Happiness. It will naturally lead you every week by week by week, practice by practice by practice, to unraveling all the fear and getting it reprogrammed into what's true for you today, so that there are no walls being put up anymore.
Okay.
There are no limitations, but you have to actually catch the fear when you do it, stop and go, that is not true. That is closing. That means what I'm thinking is not true or not going to happen. What is it that is true then in this moment? It could be, how do I want this to be instead? What makes it better than that? Okay. Those are good starts as you go through the Stress to Happiness program and rewire your mind towards this opening.
Okay. So I'm going to write out, I want a community where.
Not right now on the call. All of that.
No,
not on the call here. It's not, we don't need to do it together. You could do it on your own, but write out. It's even more than, you could even speak it out. You could sing it out, Lisa. You could do it you could create a vision board. I want it to be fun, but the key is get the elements of what you want it to look like, and then pay attention to what you think is in the way. And then drop into flow. You can even go ahead in the Stress to Happiness and look at it. You should be open for you. Look at flow, because that's how daily you get led to where you're supposed to be. I do not doubt that those 4 years that you were with that band created all the head noise that had you feel all of that closing head noise about how awful it was, and you don't like the music and you hate what you're doing, and all of that ruminating is what brought you into this place of being completely stuck.
Yep.
Because it creates the energy of who you are now. So now you're just this person who's miserable and unhappy, and you'll stay that way. There's no way out of that until you break it out by saying, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to be this way anymore. I'm going to get what I want. And there's lots of things happening in Tennessee that are cool. I've got a couple people there that came from the community. In fact, Ian went to Soup and Bread with me a couple of times. Ian's a guitar player. He had my Martin guitar for a long time while he played around the country, and he's in Tennessee, and he likes to play a lot. He's not a country person either. He's a rock and roll person. Maybe I should hook the two of you up because he knows how to do
His
this.
name's Ian?
Yeah, Ian Rhett.
What's his last name?
Rhett.
Ian Rhett. He's a guitar player here?
Yeah, look him up.
Does he play down on Broadway? Do you know?
I don't know if he's playing anymore. He's got himself a house out in the country, and he's been remodeling it, and he's a very cool guy.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but look up Ian Rhett Nashville, and you'll get a website on him, and tell me if you're interested in a connection. All right, darling. So your key is
how do you spell his name?
Yeah, like Rhett Butler, Rhett.
Okay. All right.
Love Ian. Ian's wonderful. One of my best buddies. And we have jammed. He's a jammer.
Yeah, is he? Well, I am
Absolutely.
too, really.
Yeah, he loves to get together and just play music. It's wonderful. I've had him. Yeah, he's done it tons. And he truly knows how to do community. So he might be a very good person for you to meet.
Okay.
We've done a lot of big events together, a lot of like 300-person campouts and all kinds of stuff. So we've created a lot of really cool, magical community moments. So that would be good. My point is, to finish, these walls you're putting up, no one can break you out of those but you.
Yeah, I have to do it.
And I need you to listen. Your homework this week is to listen for every time you give a yeah, but it won't work. That's not possible for me. Because this is the thing. In quantum physics, when they get down to the quark level, and I'm not a scientist, so if I say this wrong, everybody don't get mad at me. It's the concept, not the exact perfection of what I'm saying. They call it the observer effect. And when scientists look at what they believe, right? This is for everybody who's listening to, or whoever will listen to this, right?
Okay.
When it gets down to the place where you're at the quantum and you have a decision that you decide that it's going to pop in and out of existence, or it's going to swirl, or it's going to do a wave pattern, it will act the way that the person believes it's going to act. It's called the observer effect. So I want you to think about this. At a molecular level in your life, all of the quantum material is waiting for you to direct it.
Yeah. Okay.
And the second you make a judgment about anything, it snaps to attention and starts creating that. I'm sick. I'm old. I hurt. I'm exhausted. I can't meet anybody. There's nobody around to play with. All of it, all of that stuff, it has to. It doesn't have a choice. It has no, this isn't a good thing for her. We're not going to do that. We're not going to play out that scenario for her. We got to protect her from that thought.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
All of that quantum material is like a living prayer potential. So when you make a judgment, my town doesn't have this kind of music, you won't see it. It won't show up because you can't see it. I had somebody come into my life, who's a friend, and he's an ex-heroin addict. And he came to visit me in Oakland, California, and I lived in Lake Merritt. Stayed a couple of days. And as we're walking through my neighborhood to go to lunch or the movies or walk the lake or do whatever, he's like, oh, there's a heroin transaction over there. There's somebody getting high. That's a crack house. He's pointing all this stuff out to me that I'd never seen before. Never saw it ever.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, my neighborhood is this dangerous, scuzzy place. I was like, holy cow. And then he left. And I could see it for 5 or 6 days. It's not in my vibrational frequency. It disappeared. I looked after he left. I couldn't find any of it.
Wow.
It took about 5 or 6 days before I looked at the same house, the crack house, and it didn't look like a crack house anymore. There weren't the same type of people coming in and out. It was the weirdest experience.
That's interesting.
And so my point is and everywhere we go, if you've made the decision, you won't see the posters. You won't meet the person. The conversation won't happen around you. You could be at a coffee shop and 2 people are talking about this cool thing that they're doing, and you won't even hear it. Or now if you get rid of these restrictions, literally, and you get rid of the judgments, it will expand you to open up to see and hear things that you never saw before.
Right. It puts you on a new timeline.
It puts you on a new timeline. So just keep going with the program. This happens naturally. You don't have to, the only work you have to put in is keep going, keep showing up, and now pay attention to all those places where you are shutting down opportunity with judgment and potentials with judgment. We do it in our partners. We do it with our people in our lives we love. Oh, they'll never go for that. So we don't even ask them. They won't want to do that with me. They're too this or that. Mm-hmm. But if you're closed, that's not true. Yeah. You check the clothes and you're like, oh, maybe they do want to do that. I know I did that with my husband a month and a half ago. We went to play pickleball and I was like, I really want to check this out. Everybody's having so much fun. And I asked him, he goes, I said, well, he'll never do it. Close. Huh, honey, would you like to go to do a pickleball lesson? And he goes, sure. I was shocked. He had so much fun. He was laughing. He had so much fun. It was just him and a bunch of old ladies running around the court, but he still didn't care. We had so much fun and laughed, and I was shocked. So judgments kill miracles.
Yeah. Good to know.
All right, my love. Thank you.
All right.
I can't wait to talk to you again. This is for me, this is really fun because I know where in 2 months, 3 months, I know where you're going to be because I've done this a lot with people. And I know that you're right now, you feel stuck and that it's hard. Yeah. And I've been there with lots of people who feel like they're stuck and they're hard. And then 3 or 4 months later, they're rocking it and they can't even believe you'll look back at this video and go, I don't even remember being that woman.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Thank you for being here.
Take care. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. We got a bunch of chats really quick, but I'm going to see if I can pull up here. Let me see. Oops. Let me see if I can get to them. It says I have 10 chats. So this is new software. I just switched. So give me a minute to see if I can figure this out. I see them. Let me try that. In the meantime, here we go. All right. So we have Lisa, and then we have 4, and it says, that sounds great. People's fear is the biggest barrier to achieving their goals. I agree with that very much. Trying to bring that on, show on stream. People are the biggest fears to achieving their goals. I agree. Fear is the biggest thing we have as a species, stopping us from being able to get along and enjoy our lives and be able to be together in peace and harmony and love. I know that sounds really like, oh, I'm not all kumbaya, believe me, because I think you have to, that love can be really disciplined and hardcore, and it can also be soft and bushy and everything in between. And so it's really important. It's hard to be effective in those situations because I see millions of things that are working out, but people will believe what won't work out contrary to the evidence. There is something in us, I do have to say, as that I've seen again and again. It is at this juncture in history, it is rare to find somebody who actually looks to the positive and what's possible naturally. There's a way, which our educational system and the way and all the media and the people and everything, we have a tendency to go to the place of, oh, that won't work for me, versus how can I make that work for everyone? How can I make that work for everything? So that's a really important point. So thank you for bringing that up. All right. So if you're interested in this, you can go to the recreatingyouGame.com. That is the main way into this work. Within 5 days, I promise you, or your money back, that you will, if you got to do the work, you have to do the exercises. They're super simple, short videos, real easy, but you'll be amazed at the difference in who you are, how you manage things, the way the world looks to you, all of the things we're talking about. And then you also get to coach with me here on the live stream. So, and it's a beautiful community of people that are doing it different and finding their dreams through flow. And it's very much worth the energy and the effort. I am Zen Cryer de Brook, your host for Fear Free Human. I look forward to talking to you. I'll be back at 4 o'clock on Sunday, this coming Sunday. This show is at 4 o'clock on Sundays and 10:30 a.m. on Fridays. And I'd love for you to be a part of it. So thanks for being here today. I'm going to go ahead. You're welcome, Lisa. Lisa says, thanks, Zen. We will be back on Sunday. I hope you can join us. Tell a friend, share, subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.